welcome to Arts and Entertainment. I'm Deborah Gilbert, your host, and as always, it's so great to have you. Thank you so much, and I hope you had a super new year. Welcome back. Well, we're going to highlight the Yale School of Drama, David Geffen Yale School of Drama, and I have the pleasure of having Jasmine Brooks, a director and producer here as my guest today. We're going to talk about her new play that's debuting in the end of January on the 24th called Is God Is. She's the director of that, as well as the co-executive director, of the Yale Cabaret. And Jasmine, thanks so much for being here. It's such a pleasure to have you.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Well, I was so thrilled to get the press release that you were doing this play and that they accepted the invitation for you to be a guest today. So we're thrilled to have you, especially I've wanted to cover Yale so much, so this is a great interview. Thank you again.
Thank you.
So Jasmine, what I like to do in the beginning of the show is introduce the guest to the viewer. So why don't you take some time and let us get to know you. Tell us about yourself.
Great. Yeah, my name is Jasmine Brooks. I'm actually from Connecticut originally. I originally come from Windsor, so being back at Yale has been really exciting for me. I'm a third-year directing student at the David Geffen School of Drama, and I'm currently directing my senior thesis, which is God Is by Alicia Harris. I'm also the co-artistic director at the Yale Cabaret. And before coming to Yale, I actually worked in Boston, where I was a producer, director, freelance theater artist, spent about 5 years in Boston, and then I went to Yale, and now I'm here and I'm excited to talk about my time on Is God Is and directing and all the things.
My thought is that I have many performers that watch this program. Did you ever think growing up that you were going to be an actor, or was directing always going to be your passion?
Yeah, that's a great question. I was an actor all through my childhood. I did all types of plays and shows. I think from when I was about 5 years old, I was always on the stage, and I always thought I was going to be an actor. And then when I got to Boston, I had a great degree at Boston University where I did theater arts. And what was great about that program is that you were able to try out so many different things. So I was able to try out playwriting, directing, acting, producing. And I realized that I was so excited by so many different avenues that I never had tried out before. So then I was like, you know what, let me give this directing thing a shot. And one of my classmates had written a play for her thesis that I ended up directing as my senior thesis. And I realized pretty quickly that I had like the bug for directing and I wanted to learn more about it. So after I directed that play, I ended up pivoting and I worked as a producer at a company called Company One Theater in Boston, where I did a lot of artistic programming, reading new plays, casting shows. And I realized that I was more and more, as I was spending time behind the scenes in theater, how much I really enjoyed that. And that kind of led me to my directing and producing job.
Did you know that theater was going to be your pursuit? Did you ever think of film or television or video?
Yeah, I've always been just focused in theater. I've never done film, but I would love to give it a chance. I give it a shot one day. But theater has always been my love. I just love the synergy of being on stage and connecting with an audience. I love telling stories and watching how there's live reactions and engagement between the actor and the audience. And there's nothing like going to a live show. And I love theater so much. It's been a part of my life since I was 5, as I said. So I would love to give film a shot, but I just love theater.
Now, you were telling me that you had taken, am I correct? Please correct me, from Boston University to Yale was a 5-year break. What did you end up doing in between?
Yeah, it was about a 5-year break, that's correct. So I worked at Company One Theater in Boston, where I was producing. I was the artistic associate, and I also had a national residency with the National New Play Network. So I got to do a lot of producing of new plays, directing of new play workshops, assistant directing, and I just basically was all around town, like putting myself in every opportunity possible. And that was really important for me as a young artist, is exposing myself to as much as I could and learning as much as I could. So yeah, I really got to work with some great people at the Huntington Theater Company in Boston, Speakeasy Stage in Boston, so many wonderful companies. And then I was like, you know what? I really want to see what it would be like if I applied for grad school. Let's see if I can actually do this thing. And yeah, then I got in. It's been history ever since.
Now, also, I have young people that are in the university setting that would like to go to Yale. How was it for you to be able to apply to get into the David Geffen School of Drama at Yale? I mean, was it a very big endeavor for you to pursue that?
Yeah, it really was such a intensive process. I mean, applying to Yale, it's very competitive to go to the drama school, and being from Connecticut, I mean, it's a dream to go to Yale. But I think what I really stuck to when I applied to Yale was being authentically myself, and that's the thing I led with the entire application process. Is that I don't want to, cater to the type of director that I think they want me to be, but I really just want to say, this is what the stories I want to tell. These are the interests that I have. And yeah, I just led with my heart and my passions. And that's the thing that brought me to Yale.
Well, one of the reasons why you're here is this fabulous play that's coming up called Is God Is, which I think your dates are January 24th through the 30th. Correct me if I'm wrong, but tell me how that came about.
Yes, January 24th to the 30th. I hope to see you all there. So yeah, as I said before, this is my thesis. I got to read, I think, 30 plus, I had a list of like 30 plus plays that I was reading and trying to figure out what was the best show to kind of into my time in drama school. And Is God Is actually a play that I first read about 5 or 6 years ago. I think it was right in the middle, yeah, about 5 years ago in the middle of the pandemic. And I was just blown away by it. It was a play that had always stuck by me. I mean, Alicia Harris, the writer, she's incredible. I had seen one of her works, What to Send Up When It Goes Down, when it was in Boston. And I was like, I gotta read more from this writer. I gotta learn more about what other plays she has. And I think I was just so excited about the theatricality of the piece, of the epic journey of the piece, the lead protagonists. They felt so relatable and so exciting to me. And it felt like it'd be a really big challenge. And that's something I really wanted from this thesis production. So I'm feeling really excited to bring it to life. And it's been such a joy to work on it.
Next question right off the bat would be thesis production. What does that mean?
Yeah, so this is kind of the final culmination of my 3 years at the drama school. This is the largest show that I will be working on, and Is God Is will be, it's about a 90-minute to 100-minute show, and it's on the university theater stage, which is a pretty large theater on Yale's campus. So it's just a moment where there's a lot of resources that are also put to the show, and it's just a culmination of my work at the school. And kind of what feels really exciting about it is that it feels really authentically me, and it feels like the type of work I want to make. And it's really my moment to kind of, before I step out and back into the industry, like, this is who I am as an artist and as a director, and this is the story that I want to tell. So that's how I see this thesis production.
Now, you are the director of this play. Tell us what your responsibilities are.
Oh boy, so many responsibilities. It's been a really exciting process of developing a vision for this show. Is God Is, it's a spaghetti western, it's a Greek mythology, it's a mashup of all these different genres. And as a director, it was my responsibility to really, how do I distill all of these genres into something that's a coherent and concise vision that I can get my designers and my actors on board with. I really like to think of myself as a director as kind of setting up the parameters of the sandbox that everybody can kind of play in. So I'm responsible for getting my designers all in alignment, whether that's the costumes, the scenic design, the lighting design. We have projection design, so we're going to have live video on stage, which will be really fun. Getting everybody kind of in alignment, staging the show with my actors, and just, yeah, really being responsible from how the show gets from point A to point B.
Now, is everybody that is participating in the play a Yale student?
Correct. Yes. So all the actors, all the designers, and all the technical team who is responsible for building the set, everybody is a student, which is really exciting. We're all MFA students at the drama school.
Okay, let's hold that thought and take a break. I'm Deborah Gilbert. You're tuned into Arts and Entertainment. We are going to take a break. We'll be right back.
Better Business Bureau is warning residents about Eastern Transportation and Rentals, a Coventry-based company accused of taking money for airport rides and never showing up. 24 travelers say they prepaid for rides to Boston Logan and JFK airports through owner Mitch Cloder, but were left stranded and out hundreds of dollars. Some say they were promised refunds that never came. The Connecticut Department of Transportation confirms the company does not have a valid livery permit or business license. Police in multiple towns have issued arrest warrants for Cloder. Now, if you need a ride service, always check a company's reputation at bbb.org. Ask to see their permit and insurance and avoid paying through peer-to-peer apps. Use a credit card instead. It offers more protection if something goes wrong. Don't let travel plans turn into trouble. Report scams anytime at bbb.org/scamtracker.
And welcome back to Arts and Entertainment. I'm Deborah Gilbert, your host, and as always, it's so great to have you. Thank you for being here, and I hope you enjoy the show. Well, Jasmine, what I don't want to forget is your website. I just absolutely loved it. It was filled with so much information, and I'm really proud of you. You know, when you think of somebody that's in the university system, you don't think that they're going to have such a robust background, but you do. JasmineRoseBrooks.com. Tell me what the viewer will find when they visit it.
Oh, thank you so much, Deborah. That was so kind of you. Yeah, if you view my website, I have all my production photos. I have photos that you can find from my productions at Yale. I did an adaptation of Macbeth by Shakespeare that with T.S. Smith, who was my dramaturg and my co-adapter. You can find photos of that. You can find photos of my work at the Yale Cabaret. And productions I worked on in Boston, as well as my bio. Yeah, so I hope you check it out. Yeah, I really appreciate it.
And I'm glad you mentioned the Cabaret. Co-artistic director of Yale Cabaret is also your title. Tell us about that.
Yeah, the Yale Cabaret is such a special place. We are in our 58th season. So this year, our title is Yale Cabaret Season 58 Pulse. And our mission this year is to create shows that are bold, exciting, new, and really come from the heart of our community. That's kind of why we landed on the tagline Pulse, the theme Pulse, because it's really important to us that we put out work that we feel is relevant, timely, and exciting for the students in the drama school. So we produce 14 shows each year, and then at the end of the year, there's going to be a new artistic team that takes over at the beginning of the school year. And we have our 9th show of the season that's actually coming up next weekend. So you can visit yalecabaret.org to find out more information. But this season, we've done a lot of new work, a lot of plays that are experimental, daring, scrappy, and really just stuff that the students don't get to do in our assigned projects. And so it's really a lot of passion projects that are also happening in the cabaret that have been really exciting.
Now you're mentioning plays, and yet I think of cabaret as somebody that gets up and sings or tells a story, and it's people in the audience that are sitting at tables with food and drink. What's the difference in your cabaret as compared to probably the cabaret that people think about?
Well, I'm glad you said that because we actually do have dinner service at the cabaret. We have dinner on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays at 8 p.m. And we do have little cabaret tables. So you kind of get a dinner and a show. We have a bar with wine and beer. So you do get to have that experience at the cabaret, which I think is really exciting.
Now, the David Geffen Yale School of Drama, what is it like to be a student there? So many people would love to go there, but probably don't know much about it. Tell us about it.
Yeah, the drama school is it's very busy, and it's been such a great experience being in my third year. Our schedules are full every single day. As a director, I got to direct one internal project my first year. In my second year, I got to direct a new play by one of my classmates, as well as my Shakespeare. And then this year, I get to do my thesis, Is God Is, and then I do a new play in the spring, which is the Carlotta Festival of New Plays. So there's always projects that are happening constantly. People are constantly in rehearsal. We have class in the mornings from 9 to 1:30, and then rehearsals from 3 to 10. And it's just a really supportive community as well. I mean, the Yale Cabaret, as I'm talking about, is a place where students can, we have such supportive audiences. Like, even though everyone's so busy, everyone comes at night, and we all support one another. We work on these shows, even though we're pushed to exhaustion, because we care so much about creating the art and collaboration and working together. So my experience at the drama school has been very positive, and I've learned so much. I've been pushed to be a better director, and I've been really appreciative of my time there.
And the next thought would be you're coming into your fourth year and then on to, supposedly, if you will, the big world that's waiting for you out there. What are your plans for the future?
Yeah, so I graduate in May, which I'm very excited about. And my plan for the future is to move to New York. I also am someone who I want to work regionally, so I would love to work at different theater companies across the country. And I want to keep continuing to work on new plays. I love developing new plays with writers. It always fuels my excitement for just generating and creating theater. So yeah, I'm continuing to put myself out there, and to keep continuing to grow and work on plays.
Will you continue on as a director and producer? Is that something that is going to pull you into the future?
Yes, definitely. Down the line, I definitely have the goal of being an artistic director of a theater company in New York in the future. That's something that I see as like a long-term goal, and I want to keep being a freelance director for my entire life. I love directing, and I love working on theater, and I hope that this is something I can do for decades and decades to come.
What is taking you into New York?
Right now, nothing concrete is taking me to New York, but I'm a very hopeful person, and I know that something will come up for me. But I love New York, and I love the theater that happens there. And there's so many opportunities to work on new work in New York. So I would hope to collaborate with some of the alum from the drama school. Some of my classmates were also graduating and moving to New York. And I also would love the opportunity to assist on some like Broadway shows. So that's something that I hope for the future.
Your advice, what about others that are in a university setting that would like to follow your path, going into New York, continuing on with theater, directing? What would your thought beats for them to move on like your path or other paths? Any advice to them?
Yeah, I would say keep working, keep pushing. I mean, sometimes it can feel like you don't get the instant gratification of the instant payoff of working in theater. And I think that it's important to recognize that it is a long game. As long as you keep being true to yourself and you keep to your passions and authentically naming what is important to you as an artist, then you are set. Keep going to different events, putting yourself out there, introducing yourself to people. I know it can be scary to put yourself out there, but find those artists who really inspire you and follow their careers. Connect with people that you feel like you can grow alongside with, and not just people who are above you. Like, how can you grow along with the people who are right beside you? And yeah, follow your heart, follow your passions, stay true to you. That's all you can do as an artist.
As a director that you've been pursuing this, did you find it more helpful to do this out in the field, or were your classes more helpful?
I think I've learned a lot from both experience. I mean, there's something to be said about the lived experience of getting out there and pounding the pavement and putting yourself out there as an artist. I mean, that's how I learned so much in my time between undergrad and grad school. But then as coming to grad school, there were so many techniques of directing that I was not aware of before. So many different resources and books and things that just inspired me as an artist. And I definitely believe that, it's not a one size fits all. Grad school works for some people and it doesn't work for others. For me, I'm someone who I love being in school. I love being in class and learning. And that's just my path to directing. But I also learned so much from being an assistant director. If you are someone who learns from experience, reach out to a theater company and say, hey, I would love to work with this person. Are you looking for an assistant? And, the worst thing that someone can say is no. So yeah, I would say that I've had valuable experiences from both experiences.
And what I asked you before we started rolling is, do you get any sleep? How is it that you're able to go to class, do the theater, do the cabaret, and still be here to do this interview? I mean, you're amazing. How is it that you're able to juggle it all?
I care so much about all of this, and I'm really passionate about working on this show Is God Is, working at the cabaret, and I have a lot of energy. And I'm fueled because I'm working with people who I feel inspired by, people who I enjoy collaborating with. And that's the thing that keeps me going, is that I also really try to pre-plan and take care of myself, especially as an artist. You really have to look ahead, and how can you really have a sustainable practice. And I think that's something I really learned being in school, is how can I, as a freelance director, really pre-plan my life so I can make sure that I don't burn out, because burnout is a real thing. But yeah, I think I'm just really working hard and pre-scheduling my life and looking ahead and surrounding myself with people who make me feel really good.
And I don't want to forget, because it's making me feel like I missed something. With the cabaret, are you directing there? Are you performing? What is it? I know co-artistic director is your title. What are your responsibilities there?
Yeah, so at the cabaret, I directed the first show of this season, which happened in September. And then since then, I've been primarily responsible for season programming. So me and my co-artistic director, we read proposals from the students, and then we decide which shows happen in each slot. I'm responsible for overseeing the artistry of each show, and also just the day-to-day running of the cabaret, and making sure that everything is running smoothly along with my partners. But really, season planning is a huge part of my responsibility as an artistic director. And what's been really exciting is that we were able to kind of develop our own mission statement. It changes every year, and what was our passions as this cabaret team for season 58. And that will change for season 59, which has been really exciting to kind of develop a mission and a vision of how we see the cabaret each year.
Now, you mentioned cabaret is happening right away, the play is happening right away. How is it that you're able to juggle both?
Yeah, I set up, me and my co-artistic director set up a really strong team of artists who we trust to create the show while we're not maybe present all the time. So I try as an artistic director to go to as many rehearsals as I can. But since I'm in rehearsal for Is God Is right now, I haven't unfortunately been able to go to those rehearsals. But it's great having a partner that I'm able to work with. And, she was working on a show in the fall. And so when that was happening, I was able to kind of pick up, more responsibilities. And now that I have my show now, she's able to pick up a little bit more. So it's really been a great balancing act of setting up a team that is strong, that we can trust even in our absence. And having a rotation of who goes to the cabaret when.
Well, we are out of time, so I want to thank you so much for being here, and congratulations on Is God Is coming up on January 24th, the play, as well as Yale Cabaret. I want to congratulate you on all your success.
Thank you so much.
And I'm Deborah Gilbert. You've been tuned in to Arts and Entertainment. In case you need to reach me, I'm at artsandentertainment@mail.com. Well, I hope you have a super day today. I really hope you've enjoyed the show. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you next time.